Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to talk about working with Hecate in a way that is really going to up your magic and spellcraft that you do, not just with her, but for yourself. So with that being said, let's get started. So I first want to start off by saying doing your research with these gods and goddesses is really going to help you quite a bit. I specifically listened to the Greek mythology again recently of Circe and Medea. Now, Circe was a sorceress who was on an island, and she would turn men into animals, and that was kind of her sorcery. Circe is also the aunt of Medea, and Medea was another sorceress and these ladies were very gifted in magic. And Hecate chose them because Hecate is a goddess of witchcraft and magic. So I was thinking, upon listening to these mythologies, and there's plenty of videos and stories on these two, I recommend listening. It's really good stories. But I asked myself, what was it about these two sorceresses that you chose? And even especially me being a guy, I don't really hear that much about when Hecate chooses to work with men versus women. So I wanted to figure this out. So what really kind of got me especially was the story of Medea, and she comes from the story with Jason and the Argonauts, and she was even the wife of Jason at one point and got really upset, goes to this other place, doesn't want her identity exposed, and that's when Hecate takes her in as one of her priestesses. And so I asked Hecate upon my meditation talk with her, like, what was it about these two that you chose? And what was it about me that you chose to work with when you chose to work with me? And what came to me specifically through this meditation and talking to her was creative spellcraft. And then upon listening to Medea's story and Circe's story, it was like, light bulb, oh my God, that makes so much sense. That's of course why you chose them. And then I had to self-reflect, right? And I was like, I'm an artist. I'm a creative person. I have creative magic. Of course. That makes sense. So what Hecate kind of told me was, get creative with your magic and I will bless your magic. So how do we get creative with magic? And I just want to say too that creative energy can be applied in so many different facets of your life. But getting creative, especially with your magic, is really gonna up your spells. Have fun with it. And even when you are watching videos online to get ideas, when you're watching videos of movies and TV shows that have witches and wizards and warlocks, those are great ways to actually get creative. Because one thing I'll do sometimes is I'll watch a movie and or TV show with wizards and witches and magic practitioners, and I'll go, okay, knowing what I know about witchcraft and sorcery, how can I apply that kind of a spell to my real life? Or if you're watching videos online on how to do spells, how can you apply that through your unique creative lens? It's why I even get into kind of chaos magic myself, is chaos magic is super creative. It kind of takes these different pieces of sometimes different magic practices and kind of weaves them together. And I love creative magic. So what Hecate is kind of teaching me right now is to, as a form of even self-expression, is get creative with your magic. You're a creative person, be creative. And I see sometimes, especially in kind of the younger ones that I teach magic with and people I teach magic, they're like, they get so blocked in their head of being like, well, I don't think I'm creative, so how do I do creative magic? I was like, you are creative. You are creative, you just don't know you're creative yet. Everybody has an imagination, everybody has ideas. If anything, do inner child work to get back to that creativity. Do meditations that get you into creativity. And if you're gonna practice magic and witchcraft, just my opinion, there is no one correct way to practice it. Treat magic like an art form. It's art. And when you get creative with your spells, specifically Hecate-focused spells, she will bless that magic in a very powerful, intense way. So think of it as kind of like, again, when you're an inner child, right? I'm showing my friend my really cool toy that I got. Like, see, isn't this really cool? And then they're super impressed by it. And they'll go, oh my gosh, I gotta have it. I gotta do my own thing. I gotta figure out how to get this. Creative energy matches creative energy. Open-minded matches open-minded. And Hecate will definitely bless your magic. Because she gets super excited about spells and magic. It's like a kid with a toy, right? You're like, oh, that's really cool. Let's combine my energy with your energy and make a powerful spell. Woo! You know? And she really likes creative magic. So it's one thing, of course, to give her offerings, to give her bread. She likes that bread, cheese, wine, all of that. Offerings are great. I find, at least for myself working with her, she likes my energy. She likes my prayers. She likes the work I do into creative spells. And she will observe my spells and feel them and feel the amount of intense energy I put in my spells. And she will bless them sometimes, and she will observe sometimes because I can feel her watching. And she gets really into it. She does. And when she is there and she applies her energy to your magic, being the goddess of witchcraft, right? It is a very intense feeling. It's a whole body rush. It's a kind of full body high where you're like, oh, wow, this is some serious shit. And you will feel tired after she blesses a spell, because you're in a human body and your energy is naturally going to feel drained when you're channeling energy. Sometimes too, though, she will also give you a lot of energy with a spell, like an overabundant amount, and you'll be on this high rush and this high kick. You're like, oh my god, I can't sleep. I'm like, wow. Wow. Yeah, it's the high energy magic. And so she really likes when you get creative in spells. Again, offerings are great to gods and goddesses. Don't get me wrong. They like offerings. Those are energy in and of themselves. But at least with my experiences with her, she really likes my prayers. She likes my Orphic hymn to her she likes my energy in it, and especially me being an Aries moon, like she loves the amount of emotional energy that I put in a spell. She feeds off the energy, but she also gives that energy back too, to be like, yeah, so it's a cycle of energy back and forth between us. And her very much being like mother, right? You know, again, like I said in the other Hecate video, like she has different relationships, I find, with her sons than she does her daughters. And so I'm excited especially to share this with the men that work with Hecate, and I love learning from the women that work with Hecate. Again, researching the stories of Medea and Circe, like, this is a very serious goddess to work with, very powerful. And she specifically with me is in a space and creates a space with me to be like, listen, like none of this like amateur hour shit with your magic. You're a sorcerer, you're a magic practitioner, so be a sorcerer and be a magic practitioner. This is who you are. This is what you do. You've been like this since you were a kid. It's who you are. So be that. Don't pretend to be something that you're not, because I've been guilty of pretending to be something I'm not. If you look at my other earlier videos, like, it's a little cringe, because I was trying to be something that I just wasn't. And she will help you be who you are, and she will up your magic, because again, I still stand by this, you guys. She does not want weak-ass witches as part of her family. She wants the powerful ones. She works with the powerful ones to be like, listen, how do I up your magic? How do I up your spells? How do I help you up your magic? And how do I help you up your spells? I'm gonna have to push you a little bit, because you gotta remember who you are. And I will show you guys a really cool spell I creatively came up with and put together for her. It kind of works like an open roads crossroads blockbuster spell, but through the lens of Hecate. And I'm going to test this out first and give you guys the results of what, you know, her vibe and her thing into it. But I will say that, like, from me kind of sharing some of my creative magic, especially what I put in my grimoire, she really is, she gets excited with me as much as I do to show her spells. So that's a really good thing you guys can do too if you're working with Hecate, is show her your book. Show her your book. Look at the spell I came up with. What do you think I could change in it? How could I rewrite this in a way that is more effective? Don't be afraid to show her your magic. She loves magic. She is magic. So show her what you got. Don't be afraid. Again, it's one thing to pray and give her offerings. That's great. But she really likes magic. So show her your magic. Show her what you're about. Get creative with her. Now, one thing I will say that too that also helps creatively with me, especially, I also work with Hermes. So Hermes is my god, or my godfather, if you want to think about it like that. And Hecate is my goddess mother. So, and those two have been known to be involved, and they're both psychopomps, which means they are underworld guides and guardians. But working with Hermes will help you get into creative energy if Hermes is your route and Hermes calls you that way. But Hecate will apply it through magic. So combining those two, now that's some really strong energy. And I'll tell you guys another story about that sometime. But yeah, I found, at least with my experience working with Hecate, she loves when you are like a kid showing this cool thing that came out of your imagination through the lens of magic to be like, look at this cool spell I came up with. What do you think, Mom? And she will either be really excited about it, or she will help you fine tune it by giving you ideas to weave it together in a way that's more effective. But do not be afraid to show her your magic. Do not be afraid to work with that goddess in magic, because again, she's the mother of magic. So like, she's not gonna be like, oh my god, your spell is stupid. No, she won't do that. She'll be like, no, don't go this route, try this. And she gets really excited about it. So again, the point of this video, especially when working with Hecate, is get creative in your spell work, show her your magic, and she will help you fine-tune your spells. Again, it's one thing to pray and give offerings to her. Don't get me wrong, she loves that. But showing her your magic and how cool and creative you can be with your magic is really going to get her to work with you in a whole different way. So I hope you guys resonated with this. I hope you guys like it. If you do, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm just getting my channel up and going again, so it really helps me out. And those of you who choose and work with Hecate or want to work with her, keep this in mind. Get creative and show her how creative and artistic you can be in your magic and spells. So in the next video, I will see you guys. Take care.